Good morning to you and happy Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us for 9 News Mornings. Taking a live look outside right now. It is feeling nice and comfortable out there today, and we can actually tell you that this is firsthand experience because we are out in the 9 News backyard. We made it out here again, Jaden.
We did. I love being out here because, just as a meteorologist, you can feel really what you're forecasting.
And you can see the clouds. You can see all the cloud cover we have here.
Definitely, and we're going to see an increase in that, unfortunately, for this afternoon. But if you're heading out to the Broncos games or just any of the events that's going on, because there's a lot of going on this afternoon, you will be fine. Overall, we are tracking some more afternoon showers and thunderstorms for this afternoon, mainly starting at 1 p.m. But so far, looking outside at Holyoke, really nice and beautiful. We saw that beautiful sunrise a couple of hours ago. Julesburg, nice and sunny as well there. Here's your current temperatures with the upper 60s. Yeah, we're slowly warming up, but it feels amazing out here so far. I mean, I'm in a full suit, not breaking a sweat so far. So this is the perfect time to take the dog out on a walk and just being outside and soaking up the sunshine. Here's your current temperatures across the entire state. Of course, the upper 60s for the eastern plains, 50s and 60s in the high country, then also the upper 60s for the western slope. Although we're nice and quiet right now, we did see some isolated showers overnight into the early morning hours. But I mean, if you plan on having a yard sale, this morning would be the best time to do that because we are talking about maybe some afternoon storms this afternoon. But the low 90s is what's in my forecast. And of course, I'll talk about the timing, the details, and the impact of these storms in my full forecast. Lauren?
Jaden, thank you so much. People in southwest Colorado who were forced to evacuate because of a wildfire north of town of Bayfield are allowed to go home. The Blue Ridge fire started on Friday, prompting evacuation orders for more than 900 homes. La Plata County officials say the fire has burned roughly 25 acres and it is 90% contained. Crews and aerial resources are also working on a new fire. This one is about 20 miles northeast of Meeker on White River National Forest lands. The Yellow Jacket fire is about 35 acres and it is still uncontained this morning. Resources from the nearby Lee fire are helping out. And hey, we do have some good news on the fight against that Lee fire. It is now 31% contained. That's a significant change over the last 2 days. The Lee fire has burned more than 133,000 acres, making it a mega fire and the 5th largest wildfire in Colorado's history. As progress is made on that containment, the BLM has reopened a portion of public lands in Rio Blanco County. And even though these wildfires are being taken care of this weekend, they're still bringing some summer activities to a screeching halt. The Meeker Mustang makeover was scheduled for next weekend at the county fairgrounds, but organizers say hundreds of fire crews and equipment have taken over that area, so they decided to push back the 2-day event. It's now happening at the end of September. Trainers work with wild Mustangs for months, and then they come to this event to show off the horses' skills. Then they're auctioned off to new homes. Organizers say up to 1,000 people come into town for the event, and they hope that this year that number grows.
We hope with the wildfires, we got wildfires, wild horses, and the Wild West, that it's a cocktail that brings in, even more this year, because we want to share the beauty that is here and the character of the people that are still, helping each other and doing whatever they can to assist.
The Meeker Mustang makeover has been rescheduled for September 26th and 27th. This year, they'll be showcasing 32 Mustangs. New this morning, another case of measles has been confirmed. This time, it's an adult in Mesa County. Colorado officials say the unidentified adult was not vaccinated against measles. That person has no connection to other recent cases. They have not traveled outside of the state. Health officials think this case may have come from a measles transmission in Grand Junction. On your screen right now, take a look. These are the places and times where people may have been exposed. This is between August 7th and August 14th. If you were in any of these areas, watch for symptoms for at least 21 days and seek out a healthcare provider if you need to. Also new this morning, Denver police need your help finding a man they say suffers from cognitive decline. 81-year-old Wayne Big Crow was last seen near West Moisier Place and South Raritan Street. This was yesterday. He has long gray hair. He was last seen wearing a Broncos hat, a long tan jacket, a black shirt, and blue jeans. Anyone with information on where he might be, asked to call the number on your screen. That's 720-913-2000. The Loveland Police Department is sharing access to its network of license plate tracking cameras with the U.S. Border Patrol. We learned that through an opens record request after we found that Loveland PD had also been allowing other federal agents to run searches for ICE. The company behind the camera network, Flock, says The access sharing was approved by Loveland PD despite an updated state law that prohibits local and state agencies from sharing personal identifying information for immigration enforcement purposes. Now, it's unclear if Border Patrol has run any searches of Loveland's data. This comes weeks after 9 News revealed Loveland Police also gave the ATF access to its Flock account, which agents then used to conduct searches for ICE. Democratic State Senator Julie Gonzalez, who sponsored the new law, questions Loveland PD's agreement.
I'd like to understand what the U.S. Border Patrol could possibly be involved in that doesn't involve immigration enforcement.
Loveland Police declined our request for an interview again. A department spokesperson said he needed more time to gather answers to our questions about the sharing agreement. A man from Aurora who shot and killed a teenager and injured another when they tried to steal his car will spend decades in prison. He was sentenced to 54 years. Earlier this summer, a jury convicted Orest Schur of second-degree murder and attempted murder. Prosecutors say the decorated Army veteran and U.S. Space Force officer chased down 14-year-old Xavier Kirk and a 13-year-old boy from Aurora. This was back in 2023. Schur fired 11 shots as the boys tried to run away. Kirk was killed. The younger teenager survived with serious injuries. On Friday, we heard from Kirk's family.
My son got justice. It'll never bring my baby back, and I'm happy. At the end of the day, it'll never be all right for what he did. My life is always going to be heartbreaking. My heart's destroyed forever, and at the end of the day, I'm happy that I got justice for my son.
Prosecutor read a letter to the judge from the boy who acknowledged they did steal the car but didn't believe they deserved to be shot. A man who sold magic mushrooms to a 15-year-old boy who later died at a construction site in Borde is also headed to prison. Benjamin Harmon messaged that teenager last June before meeting him to sell him shrooms. Court records show that boy later died after taking those drugs and falling off a crane. The Boulder County District Attorney says Harmon's social media and bank accounts led them to 19 other victims, all high school students. Harmon pleaded guilty to distributing drugs to a minor, sexually exploiting a minor, and money laundering. He was sentenced to 35 years. The Trump administration has reversed course and agreed to leave the Washington, D.C. police chief in control of the department after the president sent the military into the streets of the city. The decision came after a court hearing. In a new memo, Attorney General Pam Bondi directed the district's police to cooperate with federal immigration enforcement, notwithstanding city law. Bondi's new order came after officials in D.C. sued to block President Trump's takeover of their police department. Earlier this week, his administration named a federal official as the new emergency head of the department. President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will now meet on Monday in Washington, D.C., after President Trump's 3-hour meeting in Alaska with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump and Putin parted ways with no deal to end the war in Ukraine.
We haven't quite gotten there, but we've made some headway. So there's no deal until there's a deal.
I would like to hope that the agreement that we've reached together will help us bring closer that goal and will pave the path towards peace in Ukraine.
Trump hosted the summit at a military base in Alaska in a bid to broker a peace deal and stop Russia's 3-year war on Ukraine. The White House had said there would be a news conference after the closed-door meeting, but both men walked off stage after 12 minutes, not taking questions. Trump still did call the meeting a 10 out of 10 and said they made great progress even without a ceasefire or deal. On X just a few hours ago, Zelensky posted this morning he thinks sanctions should be strengthened if there is no trilateral meeting on the war.